Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a ZvP. It is a best of one game, it is from the Team Story Cup and it is going to be a pretty good game, I can assure you of that much. So spawning in the top left position we have got the red Zerg player, Vibe, and his opponent down in the bottom right, the blue Protoss player, it's Duckdeok. Now, Duckdeok, of course, used to be Finale, so that's just his new name that he's going under. He's got a whole ton of different tags as well for it. It's pretty crazy. Trying to keep track of it all. Positive Duck. That's his. I believe that's his Twitter tag actually. @Positive Duck. I think. I might be mistaken. I can't check while I'm recording this, but afterwards I will. And I am right. It is @Positive Duck. Yes, definitely is. Yes. I like the way I keep reassuring myself as well, that's just a fun way to go. But yeah, the map is going to be Belshir, Big Ahana, as many people like to call it. ZvP on this map, I think a gateway opening is probably the best thing you can go for as a Protoss player. This is just like a massive entrance into your natural. Trying to wall that off if there's any kind of early pressure can be a complete nightmare. Going for a gateway expand is a lot safer, a lot more economical, and it's really the only opening that I tend to see consistently used by Protoss players against Zerg here. For a Zerg player, you want to be going for like a 14-15 pool into a quick expansion, and due to the fact that gateway expands are so popular, taking this third isn't actually essential to get really early on, so you can try and time that for about the 6-minute mark and still be absolutely fine in terms of your economical standpoint. Other good strategies for a Zerg on this map? Actually, I really am comfortable with Swarm Host. I think Swarm Host on Belshir is possibly one of the best strategies, wholly down to the fact that just the entrances into the natural, you can position Swarm Host in lots of different areas to really create a lot of interesting paths, especially once they try and take a third base. You can really isolate down this area using locusts, and that causes a lot of problems to many Protoss players, especially if they don't have many Colossi out. But another good thing to do is, of course, the quite common strategy now of this Zergling Hydralisk style of play if you don't think your opponent's going to be rushing out any Colossi, because a lot of Protoss players like to be going for some gateway aggression or even a bit of an immortal push onto that third base. So another good strategy that you can try to employ. I've seen it work many a time very nicely. So those are really the two big kind of builds that I like to see going for. You do always have the Roach Hydra composition that is really strong all the way through the game, but I think Swarm Hosts and Ling Hydra are probably some of the best you're going to be seeing on this map as a Zerg player. So here we've got the Overlord coming in, just going to get a little scout out, says yep, there's the gateway, that's to be expected. The Mothership Core should get started up fairly soon. There we go, so there's the Mothership Core starting as soon as you hit saturation, just before complete saturation on the second gas. But around this point is nice because you want to be banking up the energy in order to photon overcharge at the natural once it's taken, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing Duckdeok do here. The natural base for Vibe is just finishing up. He's just sitting on the one gas, and that one gas did come down as a direct result of seeing the gateway expand. You need the gas out to get Zergling speed slightly sooner to prevent any aggression really coming down from just the Mothership Core, a Zealot and a Stalker, which can be a little bit frustrating if you don't have a couple of Zerglings out. So will be interesting to see whether the Protoss player does choose to do that. These two Zerglings just poking, having a look around, being like, yep, confirmed that this natural base has been taken. That's all I really wanted to see. This probe is going to come and check for the third, because if obviously Vibe went for some kind of 3 hatches really early, this is about the time that it would already been taken with 4 minutes 50, so around 4 minutes to 4 minutes 20 tends to be when that third goes down if you expect a Forge Fast Expand. But Vibe reacting appropriately, getting a nice little scout out. The Zergling does manage to make its way into the main base, and now this Zergling will be able to get quite a good scout out. Sees both gas, is going to just keep an eye out for any tech that could be coming down, but isn't going to see much. There's 2 additional gateways here, very common in terms of the strategies and the openings we're seeing. You can't even get a 4th gate and go for some kind of delayed 4-gate pressure using that Mothership Core, but we're going to be getting a Forge down at the moment. There's the 3rd hatchery on its way for Vibe, so he's going fairly standard. He kept just 1 drone in gas after starting his Zergling speed, very normal as well. 2 gases still up at the moment. The natural base has been taken here for Duckdeok, but he's not yet taken his 3rd or 4th gas geyser. Roachron on its way down here for Vibe. Meanwhile, the 3rd gate just finishing, and the Forge is nearly done as well. So that's going to allow a cannon to come down, and I think it is usually quite a safe move to get that cannon relatively early. Here we see that we've got the robotic facility. down, everything teching up quite soon, and nothing really to be concerned about on either side. These two just both playing it very macro orientated, very safe, just teching up at an appropriate speed. We've got all the gas, all three drones back in gas now. No additional gas is taken yet for Vibe, and as I say that, he starts his second. His third and fourth really will depend on what sort of strategy and opening he wants to be going for, how quickly he wants to tech up into that lair tech. He does have enough gas now to start his lair if he wants to, but just getting out 10 Zerglings at the moment. The hallucinated Phoenix will come in, won't see that the lair's started. There's a single evolution chamber, but no additional ones started as of yet. The photon cannons are coming down. A second one was cancelled just after seeing not too much, but quite a few speedlings are on their way across the map. Not a huge number, just 10 of them, but 10 Zerglings is enough to be a bit of a pain. Quite a sentry heavy composition here at the moment from Duckdeok. The robotics facility probably going to start up an Immortal as soon as he's got enough gas for it. There's the lair timing on its way for Vibe, so he's just going to be teching up quite nicely. Roach Hydra is really strong against this Immortal Sentry style push, but the lair is quite late, and as a result of that lair being a little bit later, it probably won't allow many Hydras to get out. It'll be running it fairly close, so that's one thing that Vibe does need to be a little cautious of. We've got the ground carapace on its way out. The sentry count, seeing the +1 getting chrono boosted are all very important things for Vibe to scout out. We can see that he hasn't seen the robotics facility yet though, and that's something that would be really helpful for him to spot. There's the second Immortal on its way out. Meanwhile, for Vibe, his lair is 3/4 done. He's got +1, nowhere near finished, as well as more speedlings coming out, because if you know that this sentry heavy push with +1 is coming, you want to try and pressure it back, because if you delay it coming across, you buy yourself obviously more time to get out things like Hydras, which can help you defend against it. A couple of Stalkers adding into the mix. These Speedlings just going to come and check around, try and find any proxy pylons. In comes this Overlord. We'll spot these additional gateways being built, so this is now going to take us up to 6 gates, plus the Robo, which has already been spotted there. The second Immortal pops out. Really good scout. Here comes down the Hydralisk then. The third Immortal is on its way out, but this push, if it waits for the third Immortal, means that there will be plenty of time to get a decent number of Hydralisks out, but there's so many Speedlings running around the Mothership core in a forward position just to get and identify that road speed, also getting researched here. But all in all, the push is going to start moving forward. One force field already used, and this is the big benefit of being quite proactive with your Speedlings against this push, is you want to try and waste a couple of those force fields, delay the move out. Now, the big thing that we need to look out for Duckdeok is where he puts down that proxy pylon, because he's going to need to get it fairly soon, or opt for that War Prism. So he's still waiting, but the first Hydra is coming out, more Zerglings coming out. I've got to say, Vibe actually getting himself into quite a nice position to defend this. He will have +1 ground armor done. These Speedlings could always come in for a counterattack, but there's the additional cannon and the pylon. One Immortal nearly gets caught. There was a gap in that force field, unfortunately, allowing those Speedlings to get out of there. We do also have +1 ground armor being researched for the Protoss player. 10 seconds away for that +1 for Vibe, as well as Groove Spines. Only 15 seconds away from completion, plus road speed. He's really getting up quite a nice composition here, but he's got to be trying to pick off these reinforcements. The War Prism, the Pylon are all coming down, ready to just really allow Duckdeok to start moving across really, really aggressively. But it's going to come down to the attack angles. We've got more Hydras, more Roaches on their way. Got to be a little bit careful not to engage too early. That Time Warps did go off very soon. This is trying to rush the engagement slightly for Duckdeok, and that is forcing Vibe to try and come in here. Good force fields are trapping out a large chunk of the Zerg force, but Speedlings from behind, not that many units here at the moment. Way more Hydralisks trying to come out, but as long as this army's picked apart, it will be very difficult to deal with the sentries trying to get focused. All 3 Immortals are still alive though, which means the Roaches won't be in the best spot ever. A lot more Stalkers are coming down. The force field starting to die out. The sentry count only down to 2 though. That is not very many force fields remaining. I think there's only about 3 or 4 left. The natural base is going to fall, and this is suddenly looking very good for Duckdeok, who is pulling all of his drones ready to try and help defend this. A couple of Hydras trickling in, but he just does not have the firepower he needs. If this wave had come in before the engagement, I think he would have been able to crush this, but now, even if this force is cleaned out, let's face it, it's the natural base is down. That is a big loss. We've got more Zerg units streaming in, but it is 1-1 up against 0-1 upgrades. The Roaches, the Hydras trying to engage as best they can, but Duckdeok has done it. There's the GG, and a nice little push. If Vibe had just been able to get another wave of units out, maybe that would have gone a little differently. But congratulations to Duckdeok there. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new VOD, and of course make sure you check out WCS EU Challenger, the Dutch StarCraft League Finals, and also ESET UK Masters, which are all the places you can see me live. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.